Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the story of a historical figure who literally crossed oceans, challenged massive empires, and helped completely awaken a nation's consciousness. If you're someone who appreciates people who just reshape history through sheer intellect and dedication, well, you are absolutely going to love the story of the renowned writer, orator, and social reformer we're analyzing today, Annie Besant. Okay, let's dive into this. We really have to unpack what is the ultimate historical paradox here. Think about it. How exactly does a woman born right in the heart of the British Empire, born in London, end up devoting her entire life, her immense energy, and her vast intellect to India? And not just to any random cause, but specifically to India's education, deep social reform, and the fierce fight for self-rule. It's a truly remarkable transformation. And to really understand it, we need to look at exactly where she started.
Section 1. The English Soul of India.
Let's trace her foundational years to see how her core beliefs were formed way before she ever even set foot in South Asia. So she was born on October 1st, 1847 in London. And from the get-go, Besant wasn't just casually observing the world. Even in childhood, she was highly curious, exceptionally intelligent, and crucially, a fierce independent thinker. As she moved into early adulthood, she didn't just accept the status quo. Actually, scratch that. She deeply scrutinized it, studying society, religion, and human rights. From a really young age, she cemented this belief that would drive the rest of her entire life. The absolute conviction that every single person, no matter where they were born, deserved the right to education, freedom, and just basic fundamental respect. Section 2. Journey of Spiritual Discovery. Now this is where her incredible transformation really takes shape. As her studies progressed, her interest in spiritual and philosophical subjects expanded massively. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates how a pursuit of knowledge can literally change your geographic destiny. It was this exact philosophical quest that naturally drew her attention eastward. When she eventually arrived in India, she wasn't looking at it through the typical colonial lens of the era. No way. She was profoundly and instantly impacted by its ancient knowledge, its philosophy, and its deep-rooted culture. Now, what's really interesting about this is her immediate realization. This was a massive paradigm shift for the time. While the British Empire often sought to impose its own culture, Besant firmly believed that India's civilization was extremely rich and must receive respect and preservation. She saw that Indian culture wasn't something to be changed or, civilized or overwritten. It was this incredibly rich, ancient tapestry that needed to be fiercely protected and revered. Section 3. Revolutionizing Education and Culture. Besant was totally a woman of action, and she brought a really unique educational philosophy to the table. She completely refused to force a choice between modern educational knowledge and Indian culture and values. Instead, it was like she took these two powerful ingredients and blended them perfectly. She built educational institutions that brought them together. For instance, when she helped establish the Central Hindu College, it was designed specifically around this exact blend. She believed the ideal education system required an equal weight of progressive, modern learning, seamlessly mixed with deep-rooted Indian traditions and ethics. So the crucial point here is that her end goal wasn't just to produce students who could, memorize facts for colonial desk jobs. Not at all. Her ultimate goal was to foster Indian youth who were highly educated, immensely confident, and deeply aware of their own heritage. She wanted to build up self-respect and spark a fierce sense of national pride in the next generation. Section 4. The Home Rule Movement. Once you educate people to respect themselves, they are absolutely going to demand the right to govern themselves. The Home Rule movement was this bold, massive political campaign led by Annie Besant to secure self-governance for Indians. She was out there fiercely asserting that Indians had the ultimate right to decide their own future. She wasn't just whispering in the halls of power, she was on the front lines leading the charge, awakening the masses to their own political rights, and making it crystal clear that India's destiny belonged entirely in Indian hands. But hey, her influence wasn't strictly limited to just politics. She was this multifaceted social reformer. She championed women's education way before it was a widespread priority. She actively developed national consciousness and ignited self-respect among the people. And crucially, through her powerful speeches and writings, she promoted cooperation and harmony among completely different communities and ideologies. She fundamentally believed that humanity, knowledge, and selfless service were the absolute greatest tools we have to advance society. Section 5. Timeless Teachings for Today. So what does this all mean for us? How does the wisdom of a 19th century revolutionary apply right now? Well, let's see how this builds. First,
Education is a nation's greatest power. It's literally the engine of all progress. Second, everyone unequivocally has the right to freedom and respect. Period. Third, if you want to drive real social change, it absolutely must be fueled by confidence and awareness. And fourth, culture and ancient knowledge aren't just, dusty artifacts from museums. They must be actively preserved and respected as living wisdom.
Continuing with her core teachings, she insisted that women's education and development are not optional. They are entirely essential for a functioning society. She urged everyone to adopt the path of social service and prioritize humanity above all else. And finally, she taught that one must always remain fiercely aware of their rights, but equally, and this is key, aware of their duties to society. This was her lifelong vision, the whole shebang constructed on a solid foundation of self-respect, humanity, and meaningful action. She firmly believed that true service transcends borders, countries, and birthplaces. And wow, doesn't her life just prove that beautifully? Annie Besant remains an incredibly inspiring symbol of women's empowerment, educational reform, and national awakening. Her life is the ultimate proof of this quote. She completely refused to let her birthplace dictate her loyalties or her life's work. She simply followed the call of human rights, justice, and service wherever it led her. So I want to leave you with this question to really chew on. How are you applying Annie Besant's teachings of self-respect, relentless education, and social service in your own community today? The history is absolutely fascinating, for sure, but the application, that is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.